You everyone for joining us today. We're meeting today for introducing our Master of Social Work program here at UCF. We will be talking more about the program today, the structure, and you will meet everybody in our team today. So before we start, I just wanted to let you know that I will be sending you all a follow-up email after this event that will include all the information mentioned during this session today. This session will be recorded and it will be uploaded to our YouTube channel. Due to verbal violation, we will not show your names or post your questions. So feel free to turn on your camera and your mic when it comes to asking questions. We promise that that part will not be recorded or posted on the channel. So again, welcome everyone to joining us today. Um, what we're going to be covering on today is what social work is, the courses and credit hours, the differences between our campus and online track, the admission requirements, tuition and scholarship, our field placement, and the military social work certificate. Before we also start, I just wanted to let you know you can put your questions in the chat. Our advisors will be monitoring our chat in here. So whatever questions you post, they will be able to respond to it. Unless it's something that we need to discuss furthermore, we will leave it till the end. And then that's when I will take it on and I will start answering your questions live in here. To start with introducing our team, um, I will start with introducing myself. My name is Lana Kiswani, and I am the Graduate Admission Coordinator for the MSW program. I oversee admission alongside with Kismet Cohn. She is our admission specialist. We both work on your application and work alongside with you all the way until you get accepted into the program. Then that's when we hand you to our advisors. We also have today our program director who will speak with a few words in a little bit. Her name is Shelley Hall. And we also have our program assistant director who unfortunately couldn't be with us today, but her name is Christina Ferretti. Our advisors for the online team, we have Adriana Kelly and Minoska Hernandez. They oversee advising for the online track. And then for the campus space, we have Jessica Mays. They will all be talking more about the program in the coming slides. Ms. Hall, if you're
Sorry
talking, you're
about that.
muted.
Good morning. Thank you for joining us. As the program director, I'm honored to share that the UCF School of Social Work has been recognized among the best social work graduate programs in the nation. We're ranked number 67th by the U.S. News and World Report. This achievement places our MSW program in the top 25 of all accredited social work programs in the U.S., which makes a true testament to our academic excellence, our student success, and our robust field education. This national recognition also places the School of Social Work alongside nearly 40 other UCF graduate programs ranked among the top 150 in their respective fields, reinforcing UCF's reputation as one of the nation's leading institutions for high quality graduate education across the disciplines.
Thank you, Ms. Hall. All right. So now I'm going to start with, in general, what is social work? Social work is a practice-based profession dedicated to enhancing the well-being of individuals, families, and communities by addressing social challenges and promoting social justice and advocating for systematic change. Social workers provide support and resources to help people overcome obstacles such as poverty, mental health issues, addiction, and family conflict. Social work practice requires an in-depth understanding of human development, behavior, and the ways social, economic, and cultural institutions interact and affect people's life. Our Master of Social Work degree equips you with advanced knowledge and skills for leadership roles, clinical practice, and policy advocacy. Even if you don't have a social work background, the MSW graduate program, or when you graduate from the program, you are trained to assess and address complex social issues with and work with diverse population and create positive, lasting change through evidence-based intervention and advocacy. So this leads us to why become a social worker. First and foremost, to make a real difference in others' lives. Social work is a career that goes beyond just providing services. It involves being an advocate for social justice, giving a voice to those who are marginalized and vulnerable. Social workers fight systematic issues like inequality, discrimination, and poverty, working to create a more just and inclusive society. Beyond the direct impact on others, social work is deeply fulfilling on a personal level. It offers meaningful work that aligns with values of empathy, service, and compassion, while also providing lifelong learning opportunities that help you grow both personally and professionally. Social work develops a flexible and transferable skill set, including critical thinking, communication, cultural competence, and leadership abilities that are invaluable across many professions. This profession also has a global relevance, allowing social workers to address pressing and universal social issues such as mental health crisis, economic inequality, and social injustice. The diverse career path within the social work ensures that there is a role for nearly every passion, whether it's in healthcare, schools, mental health, policy, or community development. With a fast-growing demand for social workers, particularly as mental health awareness and social needs increase, the field offers excellent job security and stability. By choosing social work, you are stepping into a profession that allows you to make a lasting difference while enjoying a rewarding and dynamic career. I will now hand it to Kismet, where she will be talking about the major structure of the UCF MSW program.
Thank you, Lana. So, like Lana said, I'm Kismet. I am an admissions specialist. So, when you're going through the admissions process, I will be helping you along your way. So, what is our program structure? The UCF Master of Social Work program, or the MSW program, is a graduate level program designed to prepare students to become competent, compassionate, and culturally responsive social workers. It's fully accredited by the Council on Social Work Education, the CSWE, and UCF's MSW program is well regarded across Florida and beyond for producing skilled professionals who are ready to meet the growing demand in the field. To start with the structure of the program, there are slight differences between our online and our campus-based tracks, which we'll explore in more detail as we move through this presentation. But to keep it simple for now, the campus-based track is designed for students who prefer face-to-face, in-person classes, and the online track is fully virtual, offering a self-paced format with no required meeting times, which is perfect for those who need a little more flexibility. No matter the track, all students take a combination of coursework and complete field hours at the same time throughout their program. So in this program, you'll gain hands-on experience and you'll learn the best practices in clinical social work, grounded in ethics, cultural competence, and social justice, preparing you to support individuals, families, and communities effectively. We'll dive deeper into the full-time and part-time tracks, requirements, tuition, and field hours in the slides to come. So now I'll pass it off to Miss Mays.
Thank you. So for the campus-based track, we do have an advanced standing track as well as a regular or traditional track. A little bit of difference between the two is that if you are looking at the advanced standing track, it is because you've previously earned a BSW within the last 6 years. If you decide to do the full-time track, you are going to be in the program for 3 semesters. Part-time track is going to be 4 semesters. It is going to be a total of 32 credit hours, and we always begin that track in the summer term. The regular and traditional track is those with bachelor's degrees in other disciplines. We no longer have a part-time track, so that program is a full-time 2 years, 62 credit hours total, and begins in the fall. Thanks. For tuition and fees, in-state tuition, $369.65 per credit hour. Out-of-state is going to be $1,194.05 per credit hour. And these are just some campus-based financial assistance resources. You can talk to our student financial aid office directly at finaid.ucf.edu, fafsa.gov. Scholarships, we do offer fellowships. That is case by case each semester. So for those in the traditional track, that would be the only MSW track students that would be able to qualify potentially for a fellowship. And if we are offering it for that fall term, we will send out applications with the admissions letters. And then some of our students do have what is referred to as state employee tuition waivers or other some type of tuition reimbursement. And if you have that, you can go ahead and use that in the campus-based track.
Thank you, Ms. Mays. I will now hand it to Ms. Hernandez. She will be talking about the online track.
Hi, everybody. Okay, so I just want to clarify that the online and the campus track, you will be receiving the same degree. So when you graduate, it's not like it's going to say, oh, I graduated from the online track or I graduated from the campus track. You will have graduated from UCF's MSW program. So that's important to keep in mind. It's the same material, the same curriculum. You will be graduating with an MSW degree. So the difference is the structure, right? And the mode that you'll be receiving the information. So for the online track, we are a fully online track only. You will not have to come to campus for any reason. So that's really, really good. It's flexible. It's asynchronous, so the courses are not live. I'm sure we'll talk a little bit more about that later, but that's important to know. So same as with the campus track for advanced standing, it's only eligible for students who've received a recent BSW. We only offer this online track part-time. So we're opposite of the campus track where they only offer it full-time. So if you're interested in a part-time track, I highly suggest you look into our online program. So it will take you 4 semesters to complete this program, 1 year and 1 semester. It's 32 credit hours, and we always begin in the fall semester. Excuse me. For the traditional track, it's for anybody who has a bachelor degree outside of social work, or you graduated with a social work degree it's been over 6 years. Again, it's only part-time. This one will take you 3 years to complete. It's 62 credit hours, and we do admit every term, so fall, spring, summer. Okay, so for the online track, we are a special tuition rate program, which means that all in-state and out-of-state students pay the same amount of tuition. So it's a flat rate tuition, $487.45 per credit hour. So it doesn't matter if you're a Florida resident, it doesn't matter if you are in California, you will be paying the same amount of tuition. You are eligible for financial aid. So, check out the websites and you'll get more information. Or you can always reach out to us and we will do our best to answer your questions. It's important to know that yes, there are scholarships available. However, because we are only a part-time track, there may be some limitations with that. So if you ever have any questions, let us know. Also, it's important to read thoroughly whenever you see the information for scholarships, because again, there may be that caveat that it's only available for full-time students. I think Adriana might want to jump in and say something. Oh, you unmuted, so I thought you had something to say.
I'm next. I'm just preparing.
Oh, okay. But yeah, so that's just important to keep in mind. The Florida State Employee Tuition Waiver is not eligible for our students, only because of that special tuition rate. So please remember that when you are applying, if you are a Florida State employee, a lot of you guys apply without knowing that and then are really disappointed when you speak to one of us advisors and you find out that you are not eligible to use that waiver. So please make sure to keep that in mind when you're applying to the program.
Thank you so much, Ms. Hernandez. We will hand it now to Ms. Kelly to talk more about the program highlights.
So ours is an MSW with a clinical specialization. What that means is that we're preparing students to work directly with individuals, families, groups, in therapeutic counseling settings. One of those things that we'll do to prepare you for clinical work is we require you to do a field placement. So that's kind of where you'll do your supervised clinical placement in mental health settings, schools, hospitals, community agencies, and it's the hands-on part of your education. So we're connecting what you're learning in the classroom to professional practice. It's our signature pedagogy. It is the where, theory meets reality kind of thing. So it's a great opportunity for you in the program if you're in the part-time or the full-time track online or in person. Your field placement will be in person wherever you're located. If you are in the campus space, it'll be in the Central Florida area. If you're online, it could be wherever you are. So, some of the course content that you'll get a chance to cover in your classes, you'll learn clinical assessment skills. So you're going to explore clients' physical, emotional, social factors, and learn how to understand what's going on for a client, not just what they're coming to you to see you for one thing. You're going to assess sort of the whole foundation of who they are, and work with them on that. So we're going to work with you on treatment planning and intervention, how to implement treatment plans, to set goals and work on special things with treatment plans. You're also going to do research work. So this is going to teach you how to strengthen kind of the clinical stuff that you'll be doing. So you'll write research papers, case studies, you'll connect what's happening in the real world to theory. Um, you'll also engage in role playing. So that's where you're going to practice those skills that you're learning. So you'll have client sessions that you simulate with your classmates. And that's a really big part of the curriculum. So be prepared to work with your peers, whether you're in class in person or online. We do some group work. And I think that's all for this one. Okay, and so we have a lot of electives that you'll have the opportunity to take. Keep in mind, not every elective is offered every semester, so you'll need to pay attention to your particular plan of study, and your advisors will let you know what is available to you. These are some of the potential electives that we offer in the program. There are more than are listed here. So we cover a lot of areas. So you'll definitely find something that you're interested in our program that you'll be able to spend some time in an elective. We also have military classes, which we'll explain a little bit more later.
Thank you so much. So right now I'm going to be talking about the structure of our courses for the campus-based and the online. So starting with the campus-based, our classes are in person because this is the campus-based in-person program. They are offered Monday through Friday, and then our morning classes start as early as 10:30 a.m., afternoon at 1:30, and the evening at 6:30. Each class run for 3 hours and they meet either once a week or once every other week if it's a mixed mode class. You are required to be in person because again, this is the in-person class, I mean the campus-based track. We might have some online classes offered, but you have to keep in mind just because we have the online track, we have very, very limited online classes in the campus space. Most of the time, those are elective classes, but our core classes are on campus and you are required to be on campus. For the online structure, our courses are offered 100% online. You are not required to be meeting on a specific time for those classes. So you will be, it's more of a self-based it could be where there are some classes toward your last year in the program that you might be having to be required to meet on a specific time, but you will be receiving notification about that beforehand. The classes for the online track is a little bit different from the campus of how they are structured. So the online track, each class is a 7-week session. So each semester is divided into two mini semesters or two terms. The first term will be the first 7 weeks of the semester, and then the second term will be the second 7 week of the semester. So with that being said, since you will be taking two classes a semester, you will be focused on one class at a time. So going back to the campus pages to make the difference, for the campus-based, if when you are in the full-time track, you will be taking about 5 classes a semester. 4 of those are your core classes or elective, and the fifth class is your seminar class. And I will go more in depth with the field and how field work in a little bit. But going back to the online, you will be taking one class at a time, especially for your first year. Like your first year is straightforward. It's going to be two classes, one class at a time. When it comes to your second year, when you start your field, that's when you will be taking those two classes, same thing, but there will be one class, which is the seminar class, that will be over the course of the whole semester. So it's not divided like the other classes. For the field placement, like we mentioned earlier, you will be completing that throughout your program alongside with your coursework. This is a key part of our MSW experience, and it applies to all students, whether you are on the campus-based or the online track, you're still going to be doing the field placement. Just a few things to know and to remember in here. Field hours should be completed in person and during standard business hours. This is due to the nature of the work and the setting in which you will be placed. So it really depends. We don't have control over this. It really depends on the agency. Some agencies have like only Monday through Friday. Some agencies might have weekend or evening, but that's very, very limited. So you have to be planning to be flexible, whether you are on the online or campus, you are to complete your field hours with an in-person setting. We might have some remote placement, but that's very, very limited, and it's based on certain circumstances. So the majority of the time, expect that you will be placed for an in-person agency. We handle the placement process for you, so you don't have to find your own internship. We will work to match you with a placement site based on your preference. Um, we can't guarantee that your preference will be met, but we will do everything we can to meet your preference. Our main goal is to place you within a 1 hour drive where you are currently living, whether you are near UCF, whether you are in Orlando or in Florida or in another state. We still try to find you something that you don't have to commute like very far distances. So the process, or to explain the process for the field, it begins with an online orientation where you will fill out a form indicating your preferred population, practice of interest, and your career goals. After that, you will meet with a field education specialist who will present to you with a list of potential internship sites based on your interests. So they're not going to come with a whole list of like all agencies that we have contract with. It will be more of a small list that only align with the things that they feel fit what your interest is, and based on where the area that you're living in as well. From there, you will then when you meet with this education field education specialist, when you pick the site with them or the place or the agency, then you will go for the interview with that organization, and then that's when you will confirm the placement. We strive to make this process as smooth and supportive as possible so you can focus more on the learning and gaining meaningful hands-on experience in the field. With that, I'm gonna hand it back to Kismet, who will give you a little bit more of the highlights about our field education.
Thank you. So at UCF, we place field education at the very heart of our MSW program. The hands-on practicum is not just a requirement, it is a foundational component that prepares students for meaningful, real-world social work practice. As part of your MSW journey, you'll complete 1,000 hours of field education, ensuring you gain practical experience that directly translates into skills you'll use throughout your career. UCF has built strong partnerships with over 850 agencies, both locally and internationally. This gives you access to a wide range of placement opportunities across nonprofit, government, healthcare, and educational settings, ensuring a comprehensive and diverse learning experience that aligns with your goals. And here's an important piece of data. Approximately 80% of MSW students are offered employment directly at their practicum sites after completing their field hours. This speaks to the quality of the field instruction and the alignment of our program with the needs of today's workforce. Now I'll pass it back off to Lana.
Thank you so much, Kismet. So now I'm going to talk about the structure of how the field placement work within all the tracks that we have. So we'll start with advanced standing. Whether you are in the online or the campus, you're still going to be completing the 600 hours. Why you're only completing the 600 hours is because you're coming from the BSW program where you have completed the generalist part. So you will only be completing the clinical year in our MSW program. As we said again, that you will be completing your internship hours while you are in the program alongside your classes. So for the advanced standing, you're only completing the 600 hours. For our regular track, again, whether it's at the campus or the online, you will be completing 1,000 field hours. Those are divided into the generalist year, 400 hours, and then the clinical year, 600 hours. To explain the difference between the generalist and the clinical, to simplify it, the generalist, you will be doing more case management, providing resources, more working of like just giving the resources needed for the agency that you're working on with working with a client, just providing resources. And then when you get to the clinical year, that could be more clinical assessments. It could be working in a hospital, it could be working in a clinic, it could be working as a therapist or a counselor, working in school settings. So there are multiple different settings that you will be more focused clinically, working with patients more in depth than the generalist year. Going into when do you start your internship? If you are in the advanced standing campus-based full-time track, since the campus-based start in the summer semester, your first semester, the summer, you don't have internship. You will start your internship in the fall semester. If you are a full-time student, you will be doing your internship fall and spring, where your hours are going to be divided 300, 300. If you are in the part-time track, campus-based, same thing, summer, no internship. You will start your internship in the fall semester. Your hours are going to be divided into 3 semesters since you're a part-time student. You will be doing 200 in the fall, 200 in the spring semester, and then 200 in the summer semester. For the online track, since we only admit in the fall semester for the advanced standing, then your fall semester is the one that does not have the internship. You will start your internship in the spring semester. Same thing. It's divided into 3 semesters. So 200 in the spring, 200 in the summer, and then 200 in the fall semester. So that's how it will be divided for the advanced standing. For the regular track, again, you will be completing the 1,000 hour. If you are on in the campus space or the online, same thing. Your first year, no, sorry. If you are on the campus space, the full-time track, you will be starting your internship the first semester. So normally we admit in the fall semester. So in the fall semester, you start your classes and you start your internship right away. So after you are admitted into the program, you will be contacted by one of our field specialists, and they will work with you to place you, and then you'll start right away that semester. If you are in the online part-time track, your internship is not going to start until your second year in the program. So your first year is only classes. Your second year, regardless of which semester you started, your second year, that's when you will start your internship. So during your third semester, approximately, that's when your field specialist is going to reach out to you, and then that's when you will work on your placement. I will give it back to Kismet to talk a little bit about our admission requirements.
All right, so what are our admissions requirements? To sum it up, there is a minimum undergraduate GPA that we're looking for. We need you to submit 3 letters of recommendation. You have to meet all the prerequisite courses, submit an up-to-date resume, a professional statement, and a writing sample. These requirements are the same regardless of if you choose the online or campus-based track. We'll go over all of this in a little bit more detail now. So, starting with the GPA requirement, if you're going for our regular track, this means that you did not receive a bachelor's in social work. We are looking for a 3.0 minimum GPA. For the advanced standing, we are looking for a 3.3 GPA. And these are calculated via the last 60 credit hours, which are typically the last 2 years of your degree. So they are not your cumulative GPA. Another thing to note for the advanced standing applicants is that we do not allow more than 2 Cs within the social work classes. The classes must have at least a B minus. If you are a social work student who has more than the allowed Cs or maybe less than a 3.3 GPA, we recommend that you still apply just for our regular track. Um, and then for the letters of recommendation, you need 3 letters for each track. The regular and the advanced standing tracks require an academic letter and an employment-based letter. The academic letter comes from a former or a current professor in a college level course. We are unfortunately unable to accept teacher recommendations if they taught you during dual enrollment, or if they were substitutes, or if they were assistants in class, such as a TA. The employment letter is the second required letter. This can come from a volunteer or a paid employment opportunity, and it does not have to be related to social work. The only requirement is that it is a supervisor. We will not accept a letter from a coworker, a colleague, or a friend. And then the last letter of recommendation is different depending on if you're applying for our regular versus our advanced standing track. For those who are applying for our regular standing, you can choose to submit either a second academic letter or a second employment-based letter. For our advanced standing applicants, you must have this third letter come from your field task supervisor at your internship within your BSW. This is a requirement because you've already completed the generalist field part of the social work degree. It doesn't have to come from someone with an LCSW, but it should be from someone who oversaw or currently oversees your tasks. When it comes to the prerequisite courses, we are looking for a successful completion of a grade C minus or higher in at least one of each of the following areas: humanities, physical and biological sciences, math, and social science. We aren't looking for specific courses within each of those areas. We just ask that you've successfully completed one course within each of the subjects. If you aren't sure if you've completed these requirements, you can send your transcripts over and we can make sure that you've met the prereqs. If for any reason you do not meet the prerequisites, we can discuss the best method to complete these if you are accepted into the program. Some applicants choose to complete the courses prior to entering the program, while others would prefer to wait and take them while in the program. So if this pertains to you, definitely reach out and we can come up with a good course of action. Now I'll hand the rest of the admissions requirements off to Lana.
Right. now talking about the professional statement. So each applicant will have to provide a professional statement. We do have those 7 questions that you see on the screen, and we're definitely going to be sending it in the follow-up email. So you'll have it, so you don't have to write them down right now. You'll be provided by those. What we're asking you to do with the professional statement is that you go ahead and just literally put question number one, answer number one. Do not write this as a full essay. We're literally looking at the answers for each question. You can copy paste the question and then put the answer right under it, or you can shorten it and make a heading. Both way is fine with us as long as we see that you have answered all the 7 questions in the same order. Don't change the order because as soon as you change the order, we might think that you missed a question or you didn't answer it, or we will just get lost. So just to point out, when we are reviewing your applications, we will be reaching out to you if we see something is missing or not submitted in the right way. So you'll get a communication from us through email most of the time just saying, for example, I see that you answered the professional statement questions, but you missed question number 7. Go ahead and fix that. You'll receive a few communication from us, but not a lot of communication, and it is the responsibility for you to go ahead and fix it. We most of the time give you a time frame. If you don't respond by that time frame, your application will be sent to the committee, and then the committee will make the final decision. But again, to talk about the professional statement, just make sure that you take the questions and you answer each question. Make sure to not disclose too much personal information, just like how question number one is saying, like without disclosing personal information. Yes, we know we're asking about personal information, but we just don't want deep details about your personal life. And then the rating sample. For the rating sample, we are looking at, or we're looking for a research paper. This research paper could be something that you just write or something you use from your undergrad. Everyone in here come from a different background, especially for our regular track. You come from multiple different degrees. So most of the time you don't have a paper that is related to social work, or you might. So if you don't have one, go ahead and write a new paper. When we're saying the topic needs to be related to social work, we're saying this in general, so that way you're not limited with the specific topics. My main suggestion to you would be choose whatever that interests you in social work. So, for example, I am going for social work because I want to advocate for people with disability. Then that's your main topic. Then go ahead and do some research on it and then make that your paper. So it really depends on what topic you are or what population you're more focused on. That will help you with writing your paper. If you do have a paper within your undergrad that is related to social work that you would like to use, but you feel like maybe it's not strong enough, maybe I can fix it a little bit, go ahead and fix it. Don't feel the pressure of like, if I'm submitting a paper that I wrote before, I have to submit it as it is. So that's about what type of paper we're looking for. Now, the paper itself will have to be 5 to 10 pages in length. Try not to submit more than 10 pages and of course, don't submit less than 5 pages. When we're talking about the 5 to 10 pages, we're not including the cover page or the references. You are required to have a cover page and a reference page, but they're not included within the 5 to 10 pages. So the 5 to 10 pages are the content itself. The research itself has to be 5 to 10 pages. If your paper that you submit, let's say it's total of 5 pages, meaning maybe your content is only 3 pages, you're going to receive an email from us saying your paper is short, make it longer. Make sure you're using the APA 7th edition format. We are big on the APA format, so make sure that you are focused on what the APA 7th edition format look like. If you need resources, you can reach out to us. We can provide you with links and videos, and then you can use that to enhance your paper. If you are currently a UCF student, for your undergrad, you can definitely go to our writing center and let them know that check it for me for APA format or whatever that you need assistance with, and they will definitely help you. If you're submitting a paper that you wrote in the past, make sure that you are the only author of that paper. Do not submit a paper that was done within a group. If you submit that, it's right away we're going to say this is not acceptable. So make sure that you submit a paper that you're the only author of that paper. Papers that we don't accept, interviews, book reviews, movie reviews, case notes, client assessment, and case studies. I'm sorry, we do have policy analysis papers in here, but we have changed that. Yes, we do accept policy analysis papers. So the policy analysis paper is still also considered as a research. So if you are mostly our BSW students when they're applying for the advanced standing, we do see a lot of students, they use the policy analysis paper for their policy class. So you are definitely allowed to use that. Just don't use papers where you're only talking about a case study or you're doing biopsychosocial or you're doing interview or you are reviewing a movie or a book that you have read or watched. Um, I think I have mentioned everything for the writing sample. So yeah, just make sure that you are following all these rules. If one of these is not met, we're definitely going to be reaching out to you. And then this is how the committee will determine if you have met the requirement or you didn't meet the requirement for the writing sample. For our deadlines, for the campus space, we do accept international students as well. So starting with the domestic students, if you're applying for our regular track, which is the fall 2025, fall 2026, our deadline is June 1st, 2026. We have passed the fall 2025 deadline. So now we're looking at a fall 2026. The deadline is June 1st, 2026. And again, this is only for the regular track campus based. For the summer 2026, the deadline is April 1st, 2026, and that's only for the advanced standing campus-based. If you are an international student, if you're applying for the fall 2026, the deadline is January 15. I know the difference is big between the domestic and the international, but that's because how the international department have to handle the visa and all the requirements for specific to the international students. So that's why our deadline is January 15. For the summer advanced standing track, if you are an international student, you still have some time to submit your application. The deadline is November 1st. Our campus base does not admit in the spring semester. We only admit in the fall and summer, fall for the regular track, summer for the advanced standing. For our online application deadline, we do admit in every semester for the regular track. So if you're applying for the fall 2026, the deadline is June 1st, 2026. If you're applying for the spring semester, the deadline is approaching right now. It's going to be November 1st, 2025. If you're applying for the summer semester, the deadline is March 1st. So note the difference between the summer application for the online and for the campus. For the campus it's April. For the online, it's March 1st. For the advanced standing online, we only admit in the fall semester, and the deadline is the same as the regular track, which is June 1st. So all of our applications for the fall semester, the deadline for that is June 1st. So again, for the online, we admit every semester for the regular track and the fall semester for the advanced standing. For our admission decisions, we don't admit in a rolling basis. We do start looking at applications a little bit earlier than a little bit before the deadline. But most of the time we release like all the decisions after the deadline, so 4 to 6 weeks after the deadline. You might receive an earlier decision, but that's not guaranteed. It really depends on um, the amount of applications we receive, how many committees is reviewing applications. So there's so many factors that determine when decisions are starting, but most of the time decisions are after the deadline, and it takes 4 to 6 weeks for you to know about your decision. And also know if you are to be denied from the program or denied admission, you will definitely receive an update as well. So we don't leave you hanging. If you are denied, we would let you know. And then if you have questions about why you are denied, you are more than welcome to reach out to us and ask about the question, and then we can tell you what to do for the next time. But also keep in mind, if you were denied admission, let's say you applied for the fall 2025 and you were denied admission, the next time you will be allowed to apply again will be the next academic year. So most of the time, you are only allowed to apply one time within an academic year. If you get denied, then you will have to apply the following year. Handing this back to our advisor, Miss Kelly. She will talk more about the military social work certificate, and just so you know, it is offered for the online and the campus-based together.
Thank you. So yeah, a neat feature that we offer in the program is a military social work certificate. This is a three-course certificate, so 9 credit hours, for strengthening military veterans and their families during and after deployment. The curriculum of the certificate aims to prepare students to provide behavioral health services. So you'll see there like mental health counseling, treatment of post-traumatic stress disorder. You'll cover things like resilience building, suicide risk assessment, family therapy, and more. Having this certificate shows that you've had some specific training in military culture and concerns of military members and families. Oh, it's okay, Lana, you can go to the next one.
Okay.
Um, but I just want to say, like, some people are like, oh, well, what if I don't know if I want to work with military population? And so something that I've talked to students about, and you might hear from Lana or Kismet, is that it's a great resume pattern you can put in your resume, but also many of the skills that you're going to work on in these certificate courses are applicable across many settings. So, suicide risk assessment is something that you're going to encounter in other populations, not just military practice. But here are the 3 courses that make up the military certificate. So to be in the certificate, you have to be a current MSW student. But what's neat about that is that you can use these 3 courses as your required electives towards the MSW. So we're not asking you to take a bunch of additional classes to get the certificate. If you are a current traditional track student online or on campus, you can use these 3 electives to fulfill the requirements of your plan of study. If you're an advanced standing student, you'll need to take one additional elective that's not required during your plan of study, but you can talk to the advisors about where that will fit in your plan of study. For the online track, I can speak to that. We'll build it in. You will have to take an additional semester in our program. And Miss Mays might want to jump in about how she does it for the campus-based military track. But it is one additional course for advanced standing students. But these are the 3 courses that you would take as part of the certificate.
Yeah, and just to piggyback off of that, for those of you interested in campus-based, for advanced standing, again, it is one extra class. For full-time advanced standing, we have you take it in your initial summer semester, so the very first term that you come in, because for campus-based, we only offer SOW 6149 in a summer term. If you are part-time, even though the preference is to do it in the first summer term, technically you're with us 2 summer terms. So you could go ahead and do the SOW 6608 and 6610 in the spring term, and then take the 6149 at the end of your program in your last summer semester. So you have a little bit of flexibility, but again, the preference is, because that is the introductory course, that you do take it as an advanced standing student, part-time or full-time, in your initial summer semester. And just that you know, we do only offer in the campus-based track our electives in the spring term. The only exception is the military course SOW 6149 that is exclusively offered in the summer terms. So that's why you have to take it during a summer term, regardless of whether you are in the advanced standing or traditional track. But basically, for the remaining two classes, those are going to be exclusively in the spring terms.
Thank you both. Now, Kismet is going to be talking more about the application because, yes, of course, there is an application for this certificate. Kismet.
All right, yeah. So there is an application that's separate from the application for the MSW program. That does mean that you'll have to pay a new application fee since it is technically a new application. The deadlines for the certificate are as follows. So spring is December 1st, summer is April 1st, and fall is July 1st. The deadlines are the same regardless of track. So online, campus-based, regular, advanced standing, they all have the same deadlines for the military social work certificate application. The application requires you to answer two questions in an essay format. This is different than the professional statement. We do not want the questions to be headings. We are looking for an essay format. So we're looking for two double-spaced pages, no more, no less. If you aim to answer the questions in depth without unnecessary repetition, this length requirement should be pretty easy to meet. You will also need to submit your up-to-date resume and a letter of recommendation. This letter of recommendation is not required, but it is strongly recommended. If you would like to submit a letter of recommendation that you used for your MSW application, feel free to contact the admissions team, and we will be able to transfer the letter to your certificate application, but only after you submit the application and pay the application fee.
Thank you so much, Kismet, and thank you everybody today. Thank you for joining us today. We are now open for all your questions live. So as I said at the beginning, we will be sending you all an email that has all the information that was discussed today about both the online and the campus-based track. So if you have more questions, feel free to book an appointment with me or with Kismet, and we will go more in depth with your personal questions. But you can also ask questions right now, and the whole team is here to help you and answer your questions. But that was it for today. So if you are having any concerns or have more questions, feel free to reach out to us at mswadmissions@ucf.edu. Again, me and Kismet will be on that email, and we will both be happy to help you. When we respond to you, most of the time, our signature has the links to make an appointment with us. So if you're interested with one-on-one, you can definitely make an appointment with us. Again, thank you so much for attending today. I'm gonna stop recording here. You're welcome to open your or turn on your cameras and ask your questions live if you would like. But we will start with what we have in the chat that we have not answered. Thank you so much.